Hundar here. I'm talking Old Republic. So we've got some big PvP reveals today. We saw the video for the Warzone, the Battle of Alderaan. Can you talk a little bit about, you were speaking about the immersive nature of the BGs and how you're trying to get story focus as, as an element in that. Can you describe a little bit how that'll be implemented?
Sure, yeah, just to clarify, it's not story in as much that you're going to be having sort of cinematic mode conversations with one another. And Warzones are what we're calling our instance team of players versus team of players PvP matches.
Right.
And when we were approaching them, we were thinking about how sort of the staples like banners, points, and flags are a bit too gamey. So we wanted to give it kind of a visceral coat of paint so it would, vibe with the rest of how awesomely immersive Star Wars: The Old Republic is.
Right.
And so as a result, the Alderaan Warzone, what we have, instead of like accumulating points, you're trying to do damage to your enemy's dropship. And instead of your means being a banner with a UI meter pip ticking left or right, it's going to be getting control of anti-aircraft artillery guns and re-aiming them at those enemy ships.
Right. And you also mentioned that you'll be able to get experience gains. So as you're leveling during these battlegrounds, you can use that as an alternative to questing?
Correct, yes. We'll be giving experience for player versus player combat at the end of Warzone, when killing players, etc. We'll be giving tokens as well, so you can get gear, so you'll be able to, and it'll be identifiable gear, so you'll recognize that people got that through PvP, so you'll know who the awesome PvP players are, the dedicated PvP players. The Old Republic, just sort of a philosophy we have, is that we want to have it to be multi-path, so players can do different gameplay types, like the space game that was talked about a couple months ago, questing, and PvP, and all those, whatever you're doing is not sort of wasting your time. You're progressing your character, you're moving forward in the action and the story. There's different levels of PvP gear, so level 15 PvP gear, level 50 PvP gear, etc.
Is there also sort of an end cap with updated a season of arena gear, so to speak?
We do plan on having sort of seasonal updates to those things, and yes, there'll be multiple level 50 PvP sets.
The different durations of the war zones, how long an average war zone would take to play out with your friends?
We don't have sort of a timer, but there is a finite end because damage keeps happening to the ship, so the ship's going to explode. So there's an effective timer. In the Alderaan Warzone, as it's set now, and of course this can change with testing and metrics and that kind of stuff, but right now I would say it goes anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, so you can say average around 7 minutes, 7-8 minutes.
It's 8 versus 8 as far as the team sizes?
Yeah, currently it's 8 players versus 8 players, but again, that's subject to change.
Do you have a concept right now of how many war zones you're going to, in theory, have available at launch?
That's one of the things we're not talking about at the moment, but I did make mention of the fact that the next Warzone that we'll be talking about soon will take place on a derelict starship, which will have an entirely different mechanic, an assault type mechanic. Do
you have a class that you favor right now in the current build of Old Republic that you're really enjoying?
Thematically, I have a lot of fun with the Sith Warrior. And also the agent or the smuggler, the cover aspect is a real sort of fresh feeling in combat and MMOs, and I really enjoy that.
Is there a role you typically take on in RPG games, like the tank or the healer or DPS?
What am I best at? The sort of utility control type DPS, if you will.
Yeah. Plans for world PvP, it will be limited to the war zones, or are you plans for expansion into that?
That's another thing. Stay tuned in the months to come. We'll be talking more about different PvP features and experiences.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Of course.